helping a bird fly again. In the heart of a quiet forest, a little girl named Sophie loved to wander among the trees, listening to the songs of birds and the rustling of leaves. One crisp morning, as she explored a familiar path, she heard a soft chirping that sounded different, weak and filled with distress. Curious, Sophie followed the sound to a small bush. There, she found a tiny sparrow with feathers ruffled and a wing bent at an awkward angle. The poor bird hopped nervously, unable to take flight. "Oh, you're hurt," Sophie said gently, kneeling beside the sparrow. She reached out slowly, careful not to frighten it. The bird chirped again, but it didn't move away, as if it understood she wanted to help. Sophie carefully scooped the sparrow into her hands and carried it home. She told her mother about the injured bird, and together, they created a cozy little nest in a shoebox lined with soft cloth. Sophie named the sparrow Pip and spent her days caring for him, feeding him seeds and drops of water. As the days turned into weeks, Sophie watched as Pip grew stronger. She learned how to bandage his wing with her mother's help and kept him company, singing to him softly or telling him stories. Slowly, Pip began to hop around the box with more confidence. One sunny afternoon, Sophie decided it was time to see if Pip was ready to fly. She carried him to a clearing in the forest where the sky was wide and open. Holding him gently, she whispered, "You can do it, Pip. I believe in you." For a moment, Pip hesitated. Then, with a determined chirp, he flapped his wings. Sophie held her breath as Pip lifted off her hand and soared into the sky. He circled above her once, as if to say thank you, before flying toward the trees. Sophie felt a mix of joy and sadness as she watched him go, but she knew she had done the right thing. From that day on, whenever she walked in the forest, she would hear a cheerful chirp that sounded just like Pip's, and she smiled, knowing that their bond had made a difference. Sophie learned that kindness could help even the smallest creatures and that sometimes, letting go was the greatest act of love.